This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause we're not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. All the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick call on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but the playoffs is here and MLB, so you got to go see those. The NFL season is rolling strong. WNBA works for concerts, all kind of stuff, so you got to go see it. But I'm celebrating here because my team, the Atlanta Falcons, just recently beat the Washington Commanders 34-27. Now, there's a lot of different things to be proud of in this game, and there's some things that still need work. But ultimately, the most important thing that people should know is Commanders, obviously, let me remind you, had no Jaden Daniels, who's the starting quarterback, and also no Terry McLaurin, who is the star wide receiver. These are crucial elements of the game whenever you talk about Commanders team. They were two key guys from the Commanders that helped them get to the conference championship last year and actually make something happen. So I think we have to, of course, consider the fact that the Falcons just played a Commanders team that's somewhat incomplete, but also that doesn't take away all the positives and the great things that they did on the field, because they could have came out here and upset us and made us really angry, and they could have did the complete opposite. But some of the great things with the Falcons that we witnessed, just starting from a statistical point, Michael Penix Jr., he played great, completed 20 of 26 passes that he attempted, threw for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. The offense as a whole really looked good here, man. Bijan Robinson, he's making a lot of noise so far in the league in this season, man. Bijan leads the NFL in yards from scrimmage. He's 4th in rushing in the NFL right now. And also, he had a great game. I think he had like 75 yards in this game against the Commanders with a touchdown. Drake London got involved finally. Kyle Pitts got involved finally. Tyler Algier got involved. It was lovely in terms of the options that we exploited on our offense. So that was a good thing to see there. The defense from the Atlanta Falcons is really what made me very proud in this game. Again, I know the defense was playing against Commanders with no Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin, but it's still something to be proud of when your defense shows up any game. And defense had 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception. But the thing I'm really most impressed about here, and I'm not jumping for joy as I say any of this stuff about the Falcons, it's some things I'm excited about, but I'm still not jumping for joy. It just shows like there's an improvement with this Falcons team. And one of the things, I get it. No Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. I know we played a Commanders team who was out of commission, but this defense, aside from what we've seen in this game here, the defense is pretty solid for the Atlanta Falcons, man. I have somewhat of good faith in this Atlanta Falcons defense now, and it's weird because me as a Falcons fan, I never really said things like this. I never shed too much light on the Falcons defense. It's always been a second, fourth fifth thought of the Atlanta Falcons team, but the Atlanta Falcons, they legitimately have somewhat of a solid defense. They're second in total defensive yards allowed in the NFL, and they're second in passing yards allowed in the NFL. So these things are very, very good considering the pass rush is where we struggle, but yet whenever we play against team, we're able to generate some sort of pressures. The rookies are huge for the Falcons in terms of being able to do this. We're really led by our rookies on the defensive end. Xavier Watts, James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker. You got Billy Bowman Jr., who also got an interception so far this season. So I know you look at the losses that we had this season, they were nasty. It was ugly. We had some improvements to make. But on the bright side, this defense has a lot of potential, and they show up just about every week so far, besides the early bye week that we had, not the one that's coming up. I'm not even going to talk about that one. But we're not really giving up big plays in the air. We're sending great blitz packages and not getting burned whenever we do blitz. We're getting sacks without sending even blitzes. So, these are the things where I think about, okay, solid defenses of the NFL. When I'm looking at these different teams, these are all sort of things that they do. They don't give up the huge plays all the time. They generate sacks. They get pressure on the quarterback. Sometimes they stop the run. They get exploited a little by little. But ultimately, they getting these pass breakups is also another element that's huge. And with the Falcons not having our star cornerback is already just huge. But for the defense to still step up and make plays and secure these tackles, pass breakups, all of these things, be in the zone, be where you need to be, and stop the offense from scoring the ball, man, and getting these big plays. I am definitely very proud of this Atlanta Falcons defense. And, that's an element where I think we've definitely improved from a year-to-year type of basis. Now, still early on in the season, so of course anything can happen, and got to take that into consideration. I don't want to be a fool about, this Falcons team or anything like that, but definitely got to consider that the defense has stepped up big time. Now, improvements on the offensive end from last week, definitely there were some improvements. And there was the big thing about how Zach Robinson, how Zach Robinson came down to the field from the press box and was actually calling the plays. He said he only wishes he could do it sooner, and he wished that he had done it sooner. Raheem Morris says he wished he had done it sooner, all of these things. So a lot of great feedback from the Falcons team on Zach Robinson coming down to the field, calling the plays. You could see the difference. I'm not going to say the offense looked the best, like a top 5 offense or anything like that, but they did secure some great plays, got everybody involved. Pitts got involved. They exploited the Commanders in certain matchups in certain areas. I know there was that play where Bijan almost scored on the wheel route, and he had pretty much Bobby Wagner in man coverage, and that was just beautiful to see the Falcons actually exploit that matchup there in man coverage and be able to get a big gain down the field. So these are things, obviously it did look a lot better. However, we didn't really make a lot of mistakes on the offensive end, which was good to see. But I got to be a little picky here, of course. The pistol. We stayed in a pistol, and I didn't think it was bad that we stayed in a pistol this time. We did generate some good offense. We're moving the ball as a whole, actually, which is pretty good with this Atlanta Falcons offense because when you watch it, yes, the offense looks stagnant. Sometimes you don't get the super high scoring games, but this offense is 5th in rushing. This offense, they're tied for 5th in rushing. Let me clarify that. I don't want to give out any bogus stats, but 7th in total yards of offense right now. So, they have some firepower on the offense and they can get things done. They can move the ball. It's just how efficient can it become? So yes, there was an improvement when Zach Robinson first came down to the field. I seen some sort of efficiency on the offense improve. We looked a lot more free flowing. We made the offense look easy going with hitting open targets and things like that. But ultimately, it was an improvement, and I'll give it that. I'll leave it just at that. It was an improvement for sure. Now, I have the biggest bone to pick, pause, but the bone I really want to pick is with Raheem Morris. Clock management, the only thing I didn't like about the Falcons offense, yes, it's always room for improvement, but in this game against the Commanders, the one thing that really sticks out to me, it was a coaching error. And the coaching error that I noticed here with the Commanders in the Falcons game of this week 4 is the fact that Raheem Morris, oh, dog, you got to get your time management skills together, dude. Like, finally, we got the ball downfield and in the end zone. Our defense stepped up, but you got to get your clock management stuff together because ending the first half, we had 22 seconds. We were down on the Atlanta Falcons 25, 2 timeouts left. We had the quickest 3-and-out ever. We gave the Commanders the ball back with 7 seconds. Now, obviously, they didn't score, but 7 seconds is a lot when you talk about giving it to Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes. Like, a lot of these guys can make things happen in 7 seconds in the NFL, especially if the team got some timeouts. We just got lucky that Jaden Daniels wasn't playing, so we didn't even have to worry about them making the best of 7 seconds. However, dude, we got to get something going. This is being able to utilize timeouts efficiently, at least get in field goal range, and realize that you have to get the ball downfield in order to even get in field goal range. Yes, you have 2 timeouts. You could have played this so much differently with 22 seconds left. I mean, there are teams in this league, and I don't want to compare, but unfortunately, I'm about to do that. So whatever. There are teams in this league. If you give them 22 seconds to get downfield and get a field goal, they will do that in a heartbeat. It's very consistent. You know you cannot leave them with 22 seconds or anything less than 30 seconds on the clock, and they'll get the ball downfield. So for the Falcons, yeah, the offense, it looked better, but this is the clock management thing I need from Raheem Morris to get a little bit better. 2 timeouts, 22 seconds. We're supposed to get downfield and at least get a field goal attempt, in my opinion. I think so. And yeah, I know you were down at your own 25, but ultimately you had 2 timeouts. You could have got a first down, called the timeout, and advanced the ball and give yourself another shot to get the ball out of bounds or at least get your team in field goal range. So these are some of the things that I think is going to really separate us from a solid team and a decent team, and a good team and an average team. So some of these things, yeah, we gotta clean up, because I'm gonna tell you, a couple weeks from now when we play the Bills, we won't be able to beat the Bills doing things like this, having these clockwork errors against a solid team like the Buffalo Bills. We just can't do that. So, I was impressed with the offense. It was cool. It was good. We had a solid game. Cool. I'm happy about that. But at the end of the day, nah, man, we got to clean up the clock management type of thing. So with the pistol, I can live with that. Prove to me that it works. If Zach Robinson gonna die by the pistol and he's never gonna leave out of the pistol, prove to me that it works and I'll shut up. But until I'm proven correctly or proven wrong that it's not a good way to run the offense, then I'm gonna keep hating on it. But you got to prove it to me. But other than that, look, man, I'm excited. Glad we got the dub, of course. And, bye week coming up. So hopefully these guys are staying intense. Hopefully they're staying active. And I really don't want this team to lose any steam. So coming off a bye week can be sometimes a blessing. Sometimes it can hurt you depending on what you guys are doing during that time. So I'm hoping we stay locked in. But I do have some audio here. It's Raheem Morris. At the end of the game, he, gave his little victory speech to the team after winning. So this is Raheem Morris in the locker room with the team. Here he is.
Everybody, man, how we start this thing, man? Bring it in nice and tight. Bring it in nice and tight like we started this thing. Hey, guys, that was an all-around team win right there. Right? That's how you go dig deep, find out who you are in practice. And you come out, you go play ball. That's what we got to do at times. But I got to bring up this point right here. Man, this guy, he went through a bunch of stuff this week, man, for us. For all of us. Josh, where you at, man? Sir. Talk about criticism for the young man. You got to give him one, man. Those key third downs at the end of the game, icing this thing, putting this thing away, let the defense go out there. Let's go out there and see the best player in football. Young Mike. Hey, man, let's go get healthy on this bye, and let's come out in the least of this lead. Let's do that.
Well, that was good to hear from Raheem Morris. All right, look, so we got some news coming up in just a sec. I got a special guest joining actually as well, Thomas Tariq on the Hot Podcast. Don't go anywhere. Look, we're going to cover some news and all the different teams, wins, losses. Thomas Tariq is going to join me for that as well, and we're going to chop it up. But most importantly, man, we never got a winner on the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, so it's only right if we discuss that with the Cowboys fan. Thomas Tariq from On the Hot Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. It's halftime.